Fuck, it's hot in here. Even with that fan on, it's hot. Oh, greetings everyone. I'm back. This is, I believe, the first video I'm doing as average Aussie entertainment. So, this first one is just a discussion topic, and these are just feeling like these are things that I've been thinking of prior to what's been happening now, but it's all about video rentals, the rental shops, and streaming and whatnot, and the way with all the crap that's been happening now. Cinema chains not being open. Well, here in where I am in Australia, my local cinema has been open, but there's been pretty much nothing in cinemas right now because there's in America no movies really being made. So I've got a bit of a issue that I want to bring up, and I would say that actually the reason, a big reason, is from what has been what's happening on with Warner Brothers releasing most of their movies onto HBO Max for streaming, but this is gonna change. This is gonna change the way we view cinema now. Not that it already hasn't changed thanks to streaming, which this is what I'm here to mainly talk about. Is I have problems with streaming services. You could call it nitpicks, whatever, but this is something that I've just noticed. Growing up, I used to go to the local video store, as most people would. Hire out a bunch of movies for the week. Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, I would randomly buy some movies, but they were mostly, birthday presents, Christmas presents. Movies back then, it was like $20 for a DVD. And, it was a big surprise to get an actual movie that you could own forever. Instead of hiring the same movies over and over again for granted though, you get 7 movies for $10 for a week? Something or other like that. I can't remember what was it. It was 4 for 10, 8 for 12 or something in my local video store, so that wasn't a bad deal, and did that quite often. I don't think I hired every single movie that came out in the video store, of course, but all the ones that really that caught my eye, I hired and saw. So I was always hiring a lot of the repeat movies just because, also my local store, Kmart, didn't really have a great, movie selection. So eventually I got to the point where I started thinking to myself, why am I still hiring movies when I can go out and buy them? So I started going out and buying movies, so they came down to $15-10, and that was sweet. And then Blu-rays came out. DVDs got cheaper, and I wanted, either way I wanted to upgrade, so, why own a DVD when you can own the Blu-ray copy? And I started doing that. And I've now built up a pretty big collection for myself, and I still go, I love to go to the cinema a lot. And then all of a sudden we had Netflix. Don't think it was I honestly, I don't care if it was the first or not, but it's the big brand that everyone knows, Netflix. Netflix came out. Movies, it's basically a video rental store. That's what Netflix is. Netflix, Stan, HBO, or HBO Max, whatever it is, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus. Those streaming services that just provide movies that you can literally go and purchase has fooled the entire world. I do not understand, because I remember before streaming services come out, you go to our biggest store in Australia with movies, JB Hi-Fi. Oh my god, You'd be struggling to get through the aisles just to find a movie that you would want to buy, and a lot of the time, the movie you'd want wasn't there. Nowadays, you go in there, like, no one's buying movies anymore, from what I see. Everyone's just on streaming platforms all the time. You know, I jump on my Xbox, all I see is people on Netflix stand and all that, and they're just, I don't understand. It's like, why not just go and purchase the movie? So, to counteract the idea of streaming, it's not like I'm going to tell people not to use streaming services, but for me to counteract it, I was just going to go buy movies and just go to the cinema, like I always did. But then, there was something that really pissed me off. And this is a massive marketing bullshit. This is infuriating to me. I am a big Star Wars fan. Big Star Wars fan. Love the Clone Wars TV series. I was going to get that, and of course the sprinkler is on. Great, and of course I filmed down in a tin shack. Great. Sorry about the noise. But I was going to buy Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Wanted to go check JB Hi-Fi, check what the price would be for for Blu-ray copies. All I had was season 7, the newest season. And I was thinking, like, okay, I know JB Hi-Fi has it. Like, I know they would have it. Kmart used to have it on DVD, and with their little selection, I'm pretty sure JB would have had it. So I checked around on the website. Turns out most stores here in Australia don't sell the Clone Wars animated series on hard copy anymore. Well, at least season 1 to season 6. If I want to get it, I have to go online and have to buy or have to subscribe to Disney Plus. Fortunately, I have a way around that, and I can now watch it on my Xbox thanks to the Microsoft Store. But I wanted hard copies to go with my collection. But now it seems I'm going to have to spend a good amount of money to get it, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Streaming services has really put a whole they're clenching the nuts of the DVD and Blu-ray industry, or just the film industry in general. I can't say at the moment whether it's for the best or for the worst, considering with Warner Brothers putting all their new movies onto the streaming services, but simultaneously keeping them in cinemas. It's apparently like a test. But I'm a little bit worried that if this test makes people just don't want to go to the cinema and they can realize they can just sit at home and watch a movie that easily, kind of worries me. Going to the cinema is an experience. If they get rid of the cinema, future generations aren't going to really have that experience. That's kind of sad to me. That actually really is kind of sad. I know I'm just ranting a lot and whatnot, but I thought this would be a really good discussion to have, because I've spent so much money on Blu-rays. I spend so much money. Here in Australia, an average Blu-ray is usually about $8 to $15, depending on what one it is. Alright, so I don't know if that seems expensive in other places or if it seems cheap from other places, but that's on average how much you get for an average Blu-ray. New releases are usually about, $20, $30, $40, depending on, if you get like a steelbook. Now, if there's limited edition box set things that come out, they're usually like $80 to $100. Now, I could have bought just the normal edition of Spider-Man Homecoming. I could have done it. But I bought the limited edition, which cost me, I believe it was either $60 or $80. I believe it was $60. I don't want to say $80 to overprice it, but I think it could have been either. Alright? But I bought that for the collection. to have like to hold in my hands. Wow, and I also just thought of this too. Actually, well, not just thought of this, but this just came to my mind for this topic. Imagine when digital drops out. Imagine that. No one's going to be able to watch their movies. No one's going to be able to, you know, imagine that. Like, and digital is easy to get corrupt as well. Easy to get corrupt. So, like, honestly, I think it's going to be a bad thing to change the way we view movies and cinema just by streaming platforms, because, let's face it, streaming platforms are glorified video rental stores. That's what they are. I saw through video rental stores when I was younger and thought, what's the point of renting movies when I could just buy them and have them forever? Sadly, it caused them to close down and caused people, businesses to close down. I don't wish that on the business, but it was just so much easier to go and buy movies. And usually when these video rental stores closed, they had massive clearance sales. I remember I walked into Civic Video, another one of our local stores that closed down, and I must have spent $200 straight up on movies. $200 on Blu-rays. I walked out with like a shopping, like the shopping carts, like the carry shopping carts, full of just Blu-rays. It was sweet. And I got so many I did not expect I would actually get as well. Some that I couldn't get from JB because they didn't order them in. So here in Australia as well, like the movie industry is so lucrative and also really niche. Like you've either got to know someone or be in this particular state of, or have this particular mindset to be allowed into the industry. So, but that's a massive tangent. But Netflix and whatnot, they charge $10 a month, $11 a month or something. That sounds pretty good, instead of spending, $7 a week on a movie to watch all the time. But, let's be honest, when you're spending that $30 or that $10 a month, how many movies are you really watching, or how many series are you actually purchasing to watch? Let's be really honest. There'd be a couple of movies, maybe, that they advertise, like Netflix. The only thing I would watch Netflix for are its Netflix originals. Makes sense, doesn't it? If a streaming platform makes its own movies, it would make sense. But literally, it's just repackaging and reselling a product to you and keeping you hooked in. That's what it's doing. It's very smart, but I disagree with it. And it's the same thing with Disney Plus. It's one thing, and it's the biggest gripe I have is with Disney Plus, is the fact that at the moment here in Australia, there's no Blu-ray or DVD copy for season 1 of The Mandalorian known to be released in stores yet. So I frankly don't think we're going to get that. And also the Clone Wars. I really wanted to own the Clone Wars. I'm going to end up getting it. I'm going to get a copy of it. I'm getting a copy of it no matter what. But the fact that JB Hi-Fi doesn't have it, that disappoints me. It disappoints me because the streaming services are literally taking away from people going and buying movies to actually own physical copies of. And that just goes with everything now. People just want digital everything. They don't care about collecting stuff and actually taking care of it and showing what it's worth. 10 years down the line, I'm still going to have my analog. I'm still going to have my physical copy. What happens when digital goes out of phase and it's the next thing? Remember when they shut off the analog system TVs and they put into the digital network? What happens next? At least I still have an Xbox that can be hardwired straight up to the TV, and I can watch my physical copies. that's it. I'm gonna stop. I'm getting a bit hot just sitting here. That fan's good. I'm gonna move that closer now. So thank you guys for listening. This is literally, I know this is the first video that I've made as Average Aussie Entertainment. This is a kind of different style of what I was trying to do before. I don't like the way this algorithm is. It made me not want to actually make videos, trying to actually structure this and have a set schedule to get 2 videos a day, or 1 video a day, or 2 videos a week, or whatever. Like the way the algorithm, you need to upload consistent, and you can just tell there are people are uploading topics and videos that they don't want to upload, that they just want to put a bit of content out there for the views. That's it. And I've realized I was doing that, and I don't want to do that. I want to make content that I like, that I'm passionate about, and even if it takes a month to make a new video, I do not care, because I will talk about what I want on my channel. So, thank you for listening, and I hope this discussion about streaming services has sparked an interest in maybe not going to Netflix or any of these, and just go to your local store and buy the movies. You will have them forever, and you'll never have to consistently pay to watch that movie again. So, thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.